Welcome to Youth Sports Mastery on the Daily Parks and Rec Show, hosted by Aaron Locks and sponsored by National Academy of Athletics. Join us live every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as Aaron sits down with coaches, recreation professionals, and industry leaders to discuss youth sports, athlete development, coaching excellence, and the positive impact sports have on young people and communities. Tune in for expert insights, inspiring stories, and practical strategies to help young athletes succeed. In this episode, Aaron Locks talks with Avery Akers, Recreation Supervisor for the City of Englewood, about his career in Parks and Recreation, the benefits of youth sports, and how recreation programs help build stronger communities.
Well, it looks like we're live, so let's go with it. What do you say, Avery? Let's jump in, huh?
All right. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, everybody, I'm Aaron. Glad to be here again on the Youth Sports Mastery Show. Once again, I'm grateful to everybody from the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's so amazing how much support, how much feedback we've been getting, and this is exciting. Today, we're going to get to hang out with Avery from the Colorado, and we're going to dig in a little bit more in a minute. I'll do a full introduction. But as always, we want to start off the Daily Parks and Rec Show. We want to throw it back to make sure that we can keep the lights on, literally. And Sherry, if you're available, you want to go ahead and run those spots, and we'll come back on the other side and see you guys in a minute.
When you invest in our high-performance LED sports arena lights, you're not just upgrading your facilities, you're helping us illuminate the untold stories of parks and recreation communities. Every purchase directly supports the Daily Parks and Rec Show, a media platform on a mission to celebrate the heart and soul of our local parks and programs. From after-school activities to summer leagues, these spaces shape lives, and their stories deserve to be told. Why your support matters. Capturing community impact. Your contribution helps us assemble a talented team of digital artists, storytellers, and filmmakers to create compelling videos, articles, and short films that spotlight how Parks and Rec programs change lives. Sharing untold stories. From a child's first home run to lifelong friendships forged on the court, we'll document these priceless moments and share them with the world. Inspiring the next generation. By highlighting the joy, inclusivity, and opportunities found in our parks, we foster a deeper appreciation for these vital community spaces. Light up arenas, brighten futures. Your choice to install LED sports arena lights isn't just a smart investment in energy efficiency and performance, it's an investment in stories that deserve to be told. Be part of the story. Take action today. Purchase LED sports arena lights and help us shine a spotlight on the heartwarming stories that define our parks and communities. Contact us now to learn more about our products and how your support fuels the Daily Parks and Rec Show. Together, we'll shine a light on the moments that matter most.
Are you a vendor, brand, or service provider ready to connect with the heartbeat of local communities? At DPRS Media Co., we tell the stories shaping parks and recreation across America. Through podcasts, live streams, videos, and newsletters, we reach frontline leaders, city directors, and decision makers every single week. From youth sports and facilities to programming and policy, our audience is your audience. Sponsoring or partnering with DPRS Media Co. puts your brand in front of the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. Launching a new product, growing your presence in public spaces, targeting cities, counties, or departments, DPRS is your trusted media partner. Whether you're in software, turf, aquatics, robotics, smart cities, or special events, partnering with DPRS puts your brand in the story. With commercials, interviews, social campaigns, newsletters, and live shows, we're your media team. Partner with us and grow your impact in the $200 billion parks and rec industry. DPRS Media Co. Stories that move parks and rec forward. Your audience is here. Let's meet them.
All right, we're back. Thanks for, man, Avery. Every time I see those, I just get kind of fired up, almost like goosebumps. You're just talking about how blessed we are to be recreation professionals, working together and changing lives. So I want to introduce Avery. Avery is with the City of Englewood. And it's interesting because I actually used to work down in the City of Englewood with an I, and yet you are with City of Englewood with an E. So do me a favor, Avery, would you mind giving us a little introduction where you're at? And that will give us, everybody gets to know why I'm so fired up to have you on the show.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much, first off, for having me here. Very glad to be here. Or at least that's what I hear everybody say when they initially start off interviews. So I figured I'd start off the same. Feel like a sports professional up here. But I'm from here in Englewood, Colorado, which is very interesting that I say Englewood, Colorado, because you mentioned the Englewood with an I, which I've been over that way. But I've gotten a couple of calls this week about people from an Englewood, New Jersey. So we got a
Wow.
couple of Englewoods out.
Yeah.
But I'm here at the Recreation Center in the City of Englewood. It's about 30 minutes south of Denver. And we're just near regular recreation center. But then as a city, I get to do a lot of the fun youth program stuff.
Very cool. I'm excited to work with you. I know the team, Jonathan and Nicholas, the team out there in Englewood is great. Nick and the team, it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about that. And you guys working together for the kids. But let's, before we go forward, let's go back and let's let a little bit, man, you've been a Park and Rec guy for how many years, right? Been what? This is your second day in it, right? No, you've been doing it a while. Right?
So it's funny. There are a lot of times where I still feel like that college kid, and then I get questions like this, and it makes me realize how old I actually end up being. So I graduated college in 2010. And I've been working in Parks and Rec full time since I think 2012 was when I got my first full time position. So I actually have been working in Parks and Rec since 2006. Initially started as a camp counselor. I wanted to actually work in education as an elementary education teacher.
Okay.
Unfortunately, when I graduated was when we had our recession.
Yeah.
And so a lot of teachers were end up letting go from their positions. So for me, it was a decision initially of, you know what, I like working with kids. I've got a position here. I know they do stuff throughout the year for different programs. Let me see what I can continue doing with Parks and Rec. And I've just never left since.
It's great having rec professionals that have been in it for a minute. And I say that because, and those of you that are watching that are rec professionals, you'll relate to this. It's nice to have new blood, fresh ideas and whatnot going on. When I met with you, I could tell the energy. I can see why you are so successful, what you're doing, and why the kids love the programs you're putting in, because the energy, even your team there at your center was phenomenal. From when I walked in the front door and they made me feel comfortable, which most people are like, hey, back off, man, but when I came in, because I bring some energy, but okay, so you started, and this is not an uncommon story. Those that don't know Parks and Recreation, it's not uncommon for someone like yourself to start off and kind of dibble-dabby around. I mean, my first job in recreation, I was 16 years old in Mill Valley, California, for Stuart Kessler, had me come over, and I was refereeing, umpiring softball games.
Yeah.
Right. And then they said, hey, can you coach the basket? I was still playing 3 sports in high school, and they had me coaching the middle school basketball team, whatever. And like, that's where we all start, right? You just get in and get your beak wet, and then you go, hey, this is kind of cool, right? So
Yep.
You've been doing this a while. So what kind of pulled you in? What goes, you know what? I want to do more.
So when I initially started, when I was in high school, figuring out exactly what I wanted to do with my life, initially I had 2 major thoughts. One was being a police officer, and the other was being an elementary education teacher. Mainly, I wanted to, one, be active in some sort of way, not just sitting in front of a computer all day.
Yeah.
But then 2, I wanted to make some sort of a difference in whatever community that I'm in, because I'm somebody who gets a drive from working towards something that's bigger than myself.
Right.
So getting into my summers as a college student, it's like, okay, if I'm going to be a teacher, I should probably start working at some different summer camps.
Yeah.
So that's why I figured I would end up doing for the summer, work as a teacher, summer, work at a summer camp.
Yeah.
Um, so worked at a summer camp down where my family was, down at the Pleasant Valley Recreation Center over in Camarillo, and ended up I knew that I wanted to work with kids just from different experiences that I've had. Always been somebody who's tutored and done stuff for the younger or the youth. And so getting to work as a camp counselor and seeing the fun that I had, the impact that I had,
Mm,
different lives, but then just getting to enjoy the work that I do,
yeah.
which makes it feel a little less like work, especially over the hectic 10 weeks that a summer camp can be.
Okay.
Uh, and so working in that and continuing to work through the years and go from being a camp counselor to the camp supervisor in those 4 years, uh, getting to see more and more the backside of what happens and the more responsibility, but then also the more ability that I had to um, change or affect things within the programs and put
Yeah.
my sort of a stamp on it. And so once I graduated college, was looking at different jobs that were out there. It was still during the time when a lot of teachers weren't being hired back on.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? Let's go ahead, and I like the people. I like what I'm doing. Let's keep running this, see how far we can go.
Yeah.
Um, and just the people that I've had a chance to work with, the programs that I've had a chance to put in, the different experience that I've had, has just kept me where I am and not really wanted me to branch out and see what other opportunities are out there, because this is where I feel like I'm supposed to have some sort of an impact and do what I can.
So just so people know, Camarillo, that you're talking Southern California, right? So
Yep,
you
Southern
came out of you came out of SoCal, right? And then as you go forward. But I got a question for you. It's interesting. Were your parents educators? What were your parents? What did they do? Because it's always interesting to me how is it trickle down. I've got an interesting one. My dad left when I was very young, and my mom was an artist. And so how I ended up doing this, I guess I just gravitated towards it. But how did you gravitate to it? Like your parents? Tell me a little bit about them.
Yeah, so I'm actually the my parents divorced when I was about two,
Yeah.
so I was very fortunate and lucky in, and especially working with kids. Unfortunately, see a lot of parents who it doesn't work and they just cannot get along no matter what.
Right.
I was very blessed in the fact that my parents still had a very amiable relationship,
Mm,
um, and especially when it came to me, they were very much together in what their plan was and their communication and how they did things. So my my background and my experiences are very interesting because my dad was in the Navy. Um, I think he retired lieutenant commander or something like that. I think
okay.
because they used to call me Little LT when I would go and visit him.
There you go.
He was in the Navy, so things were orderly. A lot of things were regimented. Um,
That,
it's funny, anywhere I still go now, I'm normally 5 minutes early. Otherwise, I feel like I'm not on time.
that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
My mom works for insurance company, um, and then my stepdad worked for. In fact, he was a Navy SEAL at one point. Um, and so me getting to really know him was after that all happened, and he's worked for multiple different companies, Stanley Steamers, some different smaller things. And my stepmom works for the Navy as well, but she works on the side of logistics.
Okay.
So
Wow.
getting a lot of different experience and different ways of life of being able to see things,
Yeah.
and especially the one thing that I learned from my stepdad as far as professions is he didn't necessarily enjoy what he did.
Mm,
And so his thing was always telling me and my brother, hey, find something that you want to do for work, because I mean, we spend 8 hours a day at our job. we get to spend a lot of time at home, but the vast majority of that is sleeping if we're lucky.
Right.
So it's like you want to find something that speaks to you that makes it not feel as much work, where you can get up in the morning and it's not dreading where you have to go to do something.
Yeah, it's cool, Avery. I think the reason we connected and it really kind of hit home to me is you're purpose driven and you're mission driven. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to give back, and you got that at a young age. And so, did you play sports when you were young? Tell me a little bit about that. And I got to imagine, because it's funny, everybody that works in our industry. And again, I'm a contractor. I like to think of myself more as a community partner than a vendor. I'm trying to rent stuff. We're together. Let's go do this together, mission driven. But meeting people like you, it always inspires me, because we're coming from the opposite ends, but we're coming to the same place, right? Which is in service of making kids live healthier and happier lives through youth sports. At the National Academy of Athletics, 30,000 kids went to summer camp, right? That changed their life this summer, right? And be able to do that. And I know you're in service of and doing that as well. So did you have role models as coaches when you were a kid coming up? Did you play sports or music? Like what was that youth experience for you?
So my youth was a little interesting because I definitely played sports as a kid. Family wanted to make sure that me and my brother stayed out of trouble. So we were a multi-sport family as far as what we did. So we played baseball, and then once fall came around, we switched over to soccer with AYSO. So we got a chance to play two different sports and see some things that experiences that we necessarily wouldn't have had, being able to play some different sports. And every once in a while, our parents did get us into or try something else if they saw it was available. I think we took a 1-day lesson in tennis, and unfortunately, it just wasn't at the right time for me.
Yeah.
I got into college. It's like, okay, I have more control over the racket now. I think I enjoy this a little bit more. So getting to grow up playing those different sports, having my parents who were very involved in helping me to learn different things about the sports, but then very instrumental in my thoughts about sports, how I play, because it was always a thing of when we were on the way to the soccer field or the baseball field, because me and my brother had games on the same day,
Of course.
and they would say, "Hey, so how are you guys going to do today? How much effort are you going to give?"
Hmm.
And me and my brother, "You know what? I'm going to give 100%." And then me and my brother, being as competitive that we are, as I think all recreation people are oddly competitive. Well, I'm going to give 110%. No, I'm going to give 120. We'd go back and forth. So it was. I've had some great coaches. I think a lot of my where I get my role models from in sports have been from books and stories.
Mm.
Jackie Robinson always been one of my go-tos and favorites.
Right.
Michael Jordan, especially just because I got to see that era where he was still doing some amazing things.
Wow.
In fact, when he ended up leaving the sport, I sort of dropped off from basketball for a while.
Yeah.
We had martial arts, Bruce Lee, one of my favorite martial artists that I go to read up on or check anything on.
Right.
But then when I got into high school, my counselors ended up referring to me as the Renaissance man. And in middle school, I didn't turn in the sheet for what our first elective class was going to be. So unfortunately, I have a problem with procrastination that I've been able to help with, but was very bad at that time, so forgot to turn that in, and so they stuck me into a choir class.
Okay.
And being in the choir, okay, you know what? I actually enjoy this. I'm around people that I'm having fun with. I like being able to sing. Apparently, they think I have a good enough voice to keep here without throwing me out. So I ended up staying with that into high school. In fact, did some work with our choir in college as well. But that also opened up going into drama too, and the theater, because when I was in high school, our choir department once every other year
Yeah.
teamed up with the drama department to put on a musical.
Wow.
And so it got both sides of the choir and theater together to put on this show. And so doing that led me into drama and these other things. So the different experience that I've had have really shaped and
Oh man,
influenced
it
my.
sounds like yeah, and you've had such an amazing upbringing to have those opportunities, because then what happens is no wonder you're a successful rec professional, because you can rely on your drama to do stuff, and sometimes you use your voice. Everybody asks me, they will, when I'm there. I used to referee games. They said, "Could you sing solo?" And I said, "Solo? They got solo so no one can hear you." How rude, you know what I mean? But that's my best Rodney Dangerfield. But I love the fact, and I think most rec professionals that I know, it's not a linear, straight growth pattern, right? You gotta go through. I mean, you were in LA and now you're in Colorado. That's a little different community, a little different, across the board. So, but was there anything that you've seen? Now you've been doing this for a while. Again, I'm this is the youth sports mastery show, so let's dig into the youth sports. You've been doing this a while. You jump into it. And what would you see? What do you say when you think about youth sports? Right. I've been doing this. My first camp was with Magic Johnson, 1983, and John Wooden. So it's been a minute. You know what I mean? It's been a minute. Let me ask you, what are you seeing? Right. You've been doing this a while. Right. What are you seeing as the changes and the evolution, some good, some bad, whatever, across the board since you started in youth sports? Give me a few.
Yeah, so I think speaking about one of the bad things that I've seen sort of evolve over the time is a lot less of those multi-sport kids and families. So it's a lot more of, it seems like, hey, we're going to get you into something that you think you like, or we think you like, or we think you might have some ability in, and you're going to focus on that. And if the sport goes for multiple seasons, we'll put you into multiple seasons of that sport.
Mm.
But this is what we're focusing on. It's like, you're going to be the next Aaron Judge. We're putting you in baseball, and that's it. And so a lot of those kids miss out on those opportunities to, one, have the opportunity to find out if they like a different sport,
Right.
or a different art, or something that their parents may not have necessarily been involved in or thought that they would like or be involved in. We have some kids who try our dance and tumbling classes, and oh, they actually like getting around to do this stuff. And it's not something you would necessarily see the boys in, but this is what he enjoys, so let's pursue that as well.
Right.
So getting the kids an opportunity to experience just a plethora of different things from the different sports. Soccer, if I'd gotten a chance to play rugby at some point when I was younger, I think that's probably something I would have picked up, because I was always relatively fast as a kid.
Yeah.
So any sport that I got to just take off and run.
You
Um,
go.
so getting to that opportunity to just try different things, um, and then figuring out what they would enjoy from those different things, but from just a benefit to the health standpoint of a child, and as far as maturing in their sport, the different things that you learn in different sports that apply to other sports, especially in ways that you wouldn't think of. Um, One story that really brings that to mind that I just thought of, when I played baseball, or at least was trying to go to a new baseball team for the first time.
Yeah.
They actually had brought me out. It's like, hey, so we want to see if you're going to be a good part of this team, and basically where we want to put you on the field. So we're going to test out your skills. And they had one part where okay, so we're going to have you run down to that fence and then run back. So, okay, run down to the fence, run back. And everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. It's like, you okay? It's like, yeah, I'm fine. Okay, most people would be breathing kind of hard after that, and you seem like you're ready to go. It's like, well, yeah, I play soccer too.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I played as a midfield in soccer, so I'm running all across
Yeah.
the field. So just noticing that when these kids miss out on those extra opportunities, they're losing a chance to be with different coaches that may help them in a different way, or that may connect with a kid in a different way. They're losing the opportunity to see if there's a different sport that they might like to be involved in, that they might have grow a passion towards. And then they're missing out on that ability to have that sort of cross sport um, maturity or growth in what they're doing.
You think about it. I mean, when I do my parent programs and teach, I ask how many are excited for your kid to fail this season, and they're like, "What?" And I go, "That's that's such an important piece." And what you're talking about is trying a new sport and failing, and then developing the resiliency, making new friends. I read something which is kind of sad, but I think it kind of relates, and I don't want to get political with it, but the fastest way to create a society that is a failure is based on not traveling outside of 50 miles from where you're born.
Oh my gosh.
And if you think about that, there's a lot of truth to that. Even let's just translate it. Forget the you got to go from state to state or whatever, but focus on just yourself. You went to different cities and played different sports, met different kids, different colors, different heights, different sizes, different shapes. You got to learn from different coaches, right? Mm-hmm. Some were screamers, some were, huggers or high fivers or whatever the case is. That is what shapes us as our role models, right? In terms of the opportunity. When I've got a league in the area here, we have 2,400 kids that play in it. It's a basketball league.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of kids. And what is great is one of the philosophies that we're really making happen, which I love, is this, and that is that I don't want you, Avery, as a young third grader, fourth grader, I don't want you playing for that same coach more than 2 seasons in a row. Mm-hmm. I want you to get a different coach, because you might be the tallest kid and they say, well, you're going to be center no matter what. Well, guess what? Avery, you might be tall now, but 3 years from now, you're just one of those. So you know what? We need to teach you to dribble the ball. So you know what? I want different coaches, different philosophies, sometimes press, sometimes slow down, sometimes whatever it is, to give you different experiences. And I preach this a lot. I'm really glad you brought this up. To me, a child's body is an all-terrain vehicle, and they need to learn how to drive it that way. And you're talking about transferable skills, right?
Yep.
An interest. If you were forced to play soccer year round all the way through, you might never want to play soccer, and that may have been one of your passions. But if you get to go, great Wayne Gretzky's dad did it right. He said, hockey season's over. He got the box out. He said, put it all in there, pull out the baseball gear. And give yourself a break, give your body a break, give your mind a break to try different ways across the board. So now we know that youth sports is a great connector of community, right?
Oh yeah.
Parents are out there, no matter if they're wealthy or not, no matter what they do for a living, when they're there, they want to see the kids succeed. They want to see the team win. There's a connection that's there, right?
Yeah.
How do you see the role? We've only got a couple minutes for a break, but I want to start the conversation with you about what you've seen and how you see Parks and Recreation is the role and how they helped to bring communities together. Because I believe this real quick, that a community that has a strong Parks and Recreation department has a chance to be a strong community.
Oh, very much so. I mean, just the people who we have who come into the rec center itself, you have all sorts of social, economic backgrounds, different religions, different races. So seeing those people come in, and especially here at the recreation centers, for that common goal of getting healthy. So when you have people who come from all those different backgrounds who are coming for that common goal, especially as a kid, you start seeing less of those differences between people and more of those similarities. And that's what really helps to build that stronger community. Not only that, but especially in youth programs, the parents have to be involved, if let alone to bring their kids to the sport.
Right. Yeah.
And so having those kids, I mean, a lot of the friends that I ended up getting were because of sports. And especially as long as we played sports, we kept that communication. And especially I saw it with my sister when I was older, and the friends that she had gained that are lifelong friends because she played sports in the area that she was. And those were a lot of the same kids that she went to school with and just became friends with overall. But the families, I mean, I don't have kids right now, but I know if your kids are friends with another kid, more than likely, hey, adults, we're friends now, or at least we're amiable. And so that's a way to get those parents in to have those different communications with different people, especially having something in common like their kid, because as adults, it can be hard to find somebody who has something in common or those friends unless you go to particular places. But it's a nice way of just getting everybody onto a similar page of, hey, we may not think alike on these things. We may have some difference in opinion on these things, but especially when it comes to the kids and the sports, we just want what's best for our kids. We want them to be happy.
Right.
We want to see our team win, but we want to see an effort put forward from them.
It's so true. It takes a village. We're going to take a break in a second here. When we come back, we're going to talk about access. We're going to talk about opportunity. We're coming back. So let's roll those spots, get a glass of water, and we'll be back in a minute. Thanks, everybody. See you in a second.
Got my tea.
All right, here we go.
At DPRS Media Co., we don't just create content. We elevate community through storytelling. Now, we're proud to introduce the newest addition to the family. Welcome to Youth Sports Mastery, the podcast where champions are shaped not just on the field, but in life. Hosted by National Academy of Athletics founder Aaron Locks. Youth Sports Mastery dives deep into how youth sports can empower kids, strengthen communities, and build leaders. From coaching culture to recreation strategy, and from player development to parent impact, every episode brings game-ready insight from the people making it happen. Youth Sports Mastery goes live every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on the Daily Parks and Rec Show, sponsored by National Academy of Athletics. And powered by DPRS Media Co. This is where purpose meets play.
When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare. But there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present. Parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure, the recreation center where seniors fight isolation, the swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety. A playground instead of a street corner, a basketball court instead of trouble, a summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community, the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and in joy. Parks and Rec isn't extra, it's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the Parks and Recreation community.
Welcome back to the Youth Sports Mastery. I'm here with Avery Akers from the City of Englewood with an E from Colorado. Hey, man, I know about you. Whenever I see that spot, it just gives me chills, man. Just thinking of
man, it was like somebody was almost cutting onions in here.
I mean, it digs deep. I think that should be shown in every city across America, across the communities, at every yeah, it's powerful.
I definitely think so, because a lot of people don't know And it's funny when I saw that spot, the one word that comes up for me is what I think Parks and Rec inevitably is opportunity.
Mm,
And that's what we're giving a lot of times, like you found, we're the first real job that a lot of kids have
yeah.
when they're still in high school. So we're giving them that opportunity there, the opportunity for people to play different sports, the opportunity for people to have swim lessons. Or different things like that where they might not get the chance to the opportunity to meet different people, to be healthier, the opportunity to see different events or different cultures or different cultural events. So I think just seeing that brings to heart just opportunity is what we are.
Yeah, I love that, and connectivity,
Mm,
because through rec center, through your center. By the way, beautiful center. By the way, if you're
thanks.
anywhere near, go check that out. That's beautiful, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to us running some programs with Nick and Jonathan with you guys coming up there. Hey, but we promise we're going to talk about access. We're going to talk about what we feel. Look, you and I both know. I don't know about you. I was, we didn't have a lot of money, and sports was something that was affordable back then. When I was a kid, some of our programs were with the Boys and Girls Club down in Marin City, or in Mount Carmel. We were allowed to play there, whatever it was. Bringing up, what can we do? What can cities do? Can you talk a little bit about access? Because I feel like that the perception is that Parks and Rec programs are less than. They're not as good.
Hmm.
I feel like that, what you pay for, you get, is what the perception is. But to me, it's the furthest from the truth. There's a lot of really good people out there, especially as you guys partner with organizations, maybe like the Nash Cav Athletics or whatever, to partner to strategically bring it back and to give it more. But let me, before I go too far ahead, let's dig in, talk about it a little bit. Let me know, because access is a big thing, right?
Oh, access is huge, especially equitable access for just everybody, especially when you live in a place like, well, either of us live, where you have so many different economic factors and just different backgrounds of people. One of the easiest things that I can see cities having a part in having this equitable access is just having clean, safe spaces
Mm,
that are available for kids to be kids and to play. Um, just having parks and available spaces where, and especially situations and areas where parents feel comfortable letting their kids go out and be kids. Because, I
mm,
mean, you and I grew up in that era where, um, and my mom, worked, she would come pick me up from our after school program and rush over to the soccer field, and you were changing in the van to get to practice on time. But then when they weren't able to take you and you were old enough, they'd say, hey, it's a couple of blocks down the street, go over there. That's the only place you go.
yeah.
And you go to practice, and then they met you there, but they felt comfortable enough allowing that. Which is funny. I got a part of that in one of the programs I run over the summer, which is our movies in the parks.
Uh-huh.
And so we have an entertainer come and some different things, but it's always at a different park location.
Mm,
And I saw one of the kids from the summer camp there, and it's on a weekend. Say, hey, how you doing? Where's your parents? Oh, they're at such and such. I rode my bike over here, and I'm meeting my friends here.
mm.
And that touched my heart because I
Yeah.
hadn't heard something like that in a while. It's
Bring
like,
it back, baby. Good job.
yeah, it's like, dude, your parents are letting you ride over here by yourself, meet your friends, and then head back. So it really builds that, okay, our city is a safe enough spot where parents are comfortable enough sending their kids to a local park by themselves to be able to do something like that, because that helps grow the child in so many different ways. That confidence, um, that reliability that they have, um, just helps build them. So one of the easiest things I see cities doing is having that clean, safe, equitable areas. Because where I grew up, um, in one area there was a park that was down the street, but I didn't have any recreation centers that were anywhere
Mm,
near me that were doing anything. And I knew people who grew up in areas that they did not have a park that was in walkable distance from them.
right.
And that just affects the hell what you're able to do, and especially in today's age where it's easier to get online to meet your friends
Yeah.
than ever, and to do something that you wanna do where, "Oh, yeah, I could go out to the park and I could play football, or I could stay home and meet with my friend online, and we could play college football online with each other."
Right.
And there's something to be said about that access to being able to, um, have that connection with each other that quickly and that spontaneously, but the amount of things that they're missing out just being able to go to a park and play with your friends, and to have that experience, I feel just is fundamental to being able to.
Free play is something that's missing in kids' lives, if we're being honest, right? Everything is structured and whatnot. And youth sports, in my opinion, at times have become overcoached and undertaught. So it's about winning the game rather than winning the kids,
Mhm.
right? But it's interesting. You said something earlier. I kind of want to pull on the thread for a second. But one of my guests not too long ago said that it was better. His dad used to tell him that it's better to be on a court than in the courts.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And it's like all the things that we learned, right, that kept us out of trouble. And it takes a village. And if you have a community like yours and you create these opportunities, getting back to yours, right, then the kids can get out there. So that being said, I also see where a lot of cities are struggling, and they're struggling to provide enough recreational sports, not club, right? Not
Mhm.
travel, not we're going to go play in 6 states or all these venues and got to stay in hotels and all that, because that's going to cut a lot of people out, right? When you talk about access. But what are you seeing in your community? Like, every community is a little bit different. There'll be a thread that's similar, right?
Yep.
What are you seeing in your community in terms of, I want more kids playing sports. National statistics scare me. When I was a kid in basically 60s and 70s, so I'm really old, the 9 out of 10 kids played a team sport. We played free play down the way, but we also signed up to play CYO basketball, or we played Little League baseball or whatever it was, or soccer, right? That national average right now is less than 5 out of 10.
Mm.
And access to recreation has a lot to do with these Parks and Rec. I'm holding you all accountable to help make it more accessible. So what are you seeing as the biggest challenge? I know budgets is one, maybe facilities may be one, but what are you seeing as the biggest challenge in your end in terms of either through Parks and Rec or kids sports in general? Because you're in it knee deep
Oh, yeah, I'm in it every day.
every
So I
day.
think, one of the difficult parts is definitely, the budgetary thing, but I think overall it's, really trying to figure out the Venn diagram. So what I mean by that is it has to be the right cost, the right day, the right time, the right sport,
The right location, don't
the
forget.
right location.
Outside of town, right? No, I get it. Can you get them there? Yeah.
Yep, I had some people cancel out of a program because, "Oh, it takes us with traffic a half hour to get there."
Mm.
And so that cancels a decent amount of people out as well. So it's trying to find all these right things, and then once you find it, to be able to keep it going, because a lot of times you need those same people, to get involved. So a lot of things I found that works, at least for us here currently, we are doing an all sorts of sports class. So um, we're getting them in as they're 5, 6, 7-year old, and hey, we're just teaching you the bare bones of these different multiple sports, because your parents don't necessarily want to get you into one sport and just be that.
Right.
And then the fact that we are currently still able to be cheaper than a lot of other places. So right now, for some of our programs, for our residents, they're about $7 for a class.
Okay.
Um, and where the Venn diagram part of that gets tricky in budgeting is we have to pay our instructors. Um, and so that really becomes, how many kids am I expecting to have in this program
Right.
to where I can keep that price point low? Because if I'm expecting less kids, unfortunately, I have to raise that price, which cuts out even more kids.
Right. What's interesting about that, and again, that's where I guess National Cav Athletics comes in, because if you are paying a percentage, profit share component, that can make it more affordable, because if your community partner is working and your vendors are out there working to get more kids, because basically we all want more kids playing, right? That's the ultimate goal. Using there's companies like Activity Hero that actually reach out to communities that can help draw kids in and help to manage that as well. So there's a lot of different avenues to help support Parks and Recreation, not just in the school space either. But I'm wondering, when you talk about that a little bit in terms of coming together, man, you deal with a lot of parents, right? I mean, oh boy, here we
Oh
go.
yeah.
I don't go there. I'm not talking about competitive leagues, but if you've dealt with a lot of parents, not boy, no, I am. And your programs that are run internally, how many percentage wise would you say are parent volunteer versus your paid staff? First question. Second follow-up is, what do you see as the challenge within that we can kind of help people understand? Not that we're here to complain, but how to go forward. So what's the percentage of parent volunteer program versus your staff paid, first of all? And second is, what can we do to kind of to lift up? Because again, the whole goal is to get more kids playing.
It is. And currently at our center, we don't have any parent volunteers.
Wow.
It is all staff done programs.
Okay.
But that's also one of the difficult things about as going back to access and equitability for different sports, especially youth sports, is losing out on those people who are either volunteers or honestly not paid enough for what it is that they're doing.
Right.
I used to be a ref for AYSO when I was in middle school,
Okay.
and going to baseball games, my brother playing baseball games, but seeing more of, unfortunately, the negative interactions that we have with parents, which unfortunately draws a lot of those volunteers or those people who would normally want to spend their time giving back or doing something like this, to where either I'm not paid enough to deal with the negative side of things, or I'm not getting paid at all. I'm doing this for the love of the sport and the youth. But unfortunately, a lot of parents make it unfeasible for people to do that. So that's definitely a side that we see too.
Yeah. I want to say this as someone, I mean, we're in 360 cities. That's what we work with. And parents don't have to be the problem. Right. And what I believe, as someone who refereed a long time college, high school basketball, what you permit, you promote. If we can empower the recreation departments, empower our staff to be able to say no. They'll say, thank you, we'd love you to participate, but because you act this way, you can't, and be able to hold the line. That allows those parent volunteers. That 2,400 league that I was telling you about, all those kids, that's all parent volunteers.
Oh, wow.
We train the staff. They have to go through our training. We do background. We do all of those things. That's part of it. But the combination, because I believe that through public and private partnerships, right, through strategic partnerships, through the joint use agreements between municipalities and schools, that's when this all thrives. Instead of getting stuck in this situation where it's us versus them. Avery, you're serving the kids that go to the school down the street. So that school should be saying thank you, because again, better to have them on a court than in a courtroom, right? So if we can find a way to work together, I don't want to call out your school district, but how is your joint use agreements? How is that working with the schools for you guys?
It's going very well. It's something that we've been working on over the years to try and make it stronger, especially as we have different people who come in who have different ideas and different values. But the agreements that we have, I think, really works well for us in the schools, between the different uses of facilities, what they'll allow us to use, what we can use, but then also just the access to, they will, this, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, one of the schools had basically their fall health program and their festival, and we had multiple of our employees from all over the city who actually went there to help out with that. During the spring, there are different carnivals and different things that I'll go out to, which helps us promote our functions as the recreation center and our different programs that we have. But then also just the building and the access to be, hey, we have these programs you can get into, but if you want to come in and you want to swim, especially in a heated pool during the winter, we have that available. If you just want to work out, if you want to hey, if it's snowing and you want to get some laps in, we have an indoor area where you can do laps and you could do these different things, not only for the kids, but the teachers and the parents as well. So I feel that we're really working hand to hand as far as um, it's a funny thing doing training. And I think one of the largest things I heard in the training that stuck with me is, what are you doing this for? What's the big picture?
Yeah.
And that really drives, or has started to drive, more of my decisions to where, um, yeah, maybe we'll take a small hit financially, but if I can get approved for it and if I can figure something out,
Right.
my end goal is to have something enjoyable for the community and these kids that help them out. So what can I do and what can we all do to help promote that and move that forward?
Well, I'm committed from the National Academy of Athletics in your community. So you get in touch with Jonathan and Nick. I'm sure they would come out. We bring radar guns where the kids can see how fast they can throw the ball, a speed check or things like that to enhance these things at these schools, across the board. And hopefully schools realize that putting a flyer out to all these students, right, about your programs, there's value to that, because you're giving these kids an awesome opportunity to have a lot of fun, to grow, to go, to experience what you talked about earlier, opportunity, right? Here's your chance to learn something new. And you never know, they go and play pickleball in your facility, and next thing you know, they want to be pickleball players, or whatever the case that it might be. But okay, so I believe that a lot of times Parks and Recreation doesn't get enough credit. But the community, what you guys do for the youth in the community, and again, I don't know what that is going to look like, or how to get you a merit badge, because you're not looking for it. But the youth development that you give them, the opportunity in a safe environment to fail, to learn, to grow, to develop a sense of community, to meet other kids from the other side of the tracks, right? Other communities, to all those different factors. Man, it's something else. And I'm sure you see it every single day, right? Kids come to the community center, pick up basketball, start shooting hoops. They don't know each other. Next thing you know, you bring them together. Tell me a little bit about that for you, because I think, what is the role that you see? Let's challenge those Parks and Rec professionals out there. I'm challenging you. Yet what is it that you see that you've done, and what is the role that you see to help kids grow up healthy and confident?
So the role that I see that I've done is giving, as far as I can, equitable opportunities for these kids to have these programs, to try different sports, to try different things, like you said, to learn how to fail, and then how to move forward from that failure. Um, Summer camp. In my first year coming up here to work for summer camp, I had recently taken over. We weren't able to get a whole lot of staff in, so I was the director for that year of summer. So I was doing a lot of hours. But one of the things we do is we go to a water park once a week, our Pirates Cove, which is just down the block from our camp. And we always have the kids do a swim lesson, or a swim test, to see where they can go. And we had one kid who just couldn't pick it up, and it was just the most devastating for him every day. And having that experience that I have, and that knowledge in the background, being able to pull him aside, calm him down, say, hey, I know you're having issues with this right now. Are you taking any swim lessons? Okay, let's talk to your parents. Let's see if we can get you into swim lessons and find that out, and find out how you can get better to get where you want to go, because you see this as an issue. I'm not going to say it's not important, because I'm not in your shoes, and I know you want to be with your friends and do all this cool stuff. So how do we get you from where you are to where you want to be? And I think that's definitely the teacher in me, because it goes everywhere with me to get them for that sense of confidence and that sense of self-reliability in, I can do this. It's going to take some work. And just because I failed here doesn't mean I'm going to fail over here.
Right.
It's the lessons I can learn from this failure. Is what a cartoon show from back in the days. You learn 100 lessons from a failure. You only learn one from a victory.
And they become transferable, because when you realize that you have never done this before, but you survived it first, right?
Hmm.
And then you learn from it, and then you grow from it, and then you glow from it, right? So there's a process to that, and they learn that. That's what I think is so amazing at Parks and Recreation. And I'll be honest, I'm not gonna say I'm tired of it, but I'm tired of it. That Parks and Recreation, that the community out there is going, well, they're not very good. No, they're really good. You know what I mean? They're really good. They really care. And maybe the training is not the exact same level that you can get per se by paying $1,000 a month to be in some elite specialized whatever it is. But the other lessons they're going to learn and the foundation they're going to learn is phenomenal. And in my opinion, to skip Parks and Rec, to skip Rec League, to skip Rec camps and clinics and opportunities is a huge mistake. As a parent that I had 2 kids, played 3 sports all the way through high school, had a chance to keep playing ball. Don't skip steps. Give Parks and Rec a chance. If you're not a Parks and Rec person and you're watching this, you better become one, because you're going to skip those steps and potentially you could hurt your child.
I mean, just social emotional. It's a lot of social and emotional that you get,
Huge,
and
huge.
especially when you go to these places that, not to say that they're all bad, but they're a lot about the money and developing your child from that physical standpoint.
Right.
They aren't as trained, or they don't necessarily care as much about the social and emotional, the communication, the learning, the kids having communication between each other. Hey, you might be the best person on this team because it is a rec league. We're going to teach you how to play and bring up those teammates who may not be as good as you are.
Right.
Or, hey, you may not be the best person. We're going to teach you how to play smarter, how to be smarter about this, how to work together with your teammates to become a better team, versus just, hey, we're going to put all this into you. Or some of those places that you go, they're not doing as much of those small fundamental things because they're focused on so many kids and trying to push them as fast as they can
Right.
to that next
Yeah,
level.
and it becomes a factory rather. And unfortunately, well, some kids aren't going to make it. Some kids are going to make it. I want to get. I played competitive basketball until I was 52. Right. I want kids to want to have a lifetime of learning, which is competition. I know. Oh my gosh. But it's actually a good thing if done right. Right. And we can
Yep.
mess it up. Hey, are you working with Jonathan and Nick? Do we have programs coming up, or is that something that's coming up in the spring and summer? Are we moving in that direction? I'm just curious. I didn't.
Oh yeah, we're definitely moving that direction.
Great.
Looking forward to spring and summer. Right now, we're just trying to figure out from different organizations what their use is going to be for parks.
Right.
But once we figure that, we are definitely set to go with you guys and
Good.
teach a lot of different programs.
Well, and it wasn't a loaded question. The reason I asked the question was just I'm thinking about, as we wrap up, we only got a couple minutes left. I want to make sure that people, because if I'm a parent, I hear about what Avery's got going on, and I live within 15 minutes of you. I'm going. I want to find that rec center. I want to know more. I want to ask one quick question for the next generation of Parks and Rec professionals that are coming behind. Right.
Hmm.
I need a 30-second punch him in the nose. I'm a young rec professional. I'm just starting out. What advice do you have for them?
As a for rec professional, number one, I would say know your why. Keep that close to your heart, because that's what's going to help propel you forward. And especially on those days where, unfortunately, you're going to get yelled at by a parent. I expect it at least once per summer for some reason, but knowing that why you're doing it, and that goes for anything, that's going to keep you moving forward when things get dark, when things get heavy. The other thing I would say is find a wide range of
Yes, sir.
experiences that they can have, knowledge that they can get, but also from those people who are coming before you. Um, Learn to teach different sports, learn to teach different. I've taught cooking classes for youth. I've taught sports. I've taught a lot of different things, but all of that helped to build me into the knowledge that I have. So when I have the next generation who see things differently, or they ask me questions, or they have a thought on how they want to run the program, there are things I've ran into before that I know are the pitfalls that I can say, hey, great idea. You may want to look at it this way because these are things that have happened to me.
Right.
But the last thing I would say to them is also keep an open mind about those things, because none of us have all the answers.
Right.
And on the daily, somebody comes up to me with something that, you know what, I didn't think of that. I can't see a reason why it won't work. Let's try it.
Open-minded, open to opportunity, open to possibility. I love the fact I see some that start in high school, they end up going to college, and then they work at they go to Oregon, and they end up being a beaver, and they end up, working at the college campus and recreation. Then they fall in love with it, and they played sports, and it's just continuous spirals to get where you want to go. All right. So as we wrap up here, the NashCap Athletics, Avery, I'm excited for our opportunity to work with you. I know your community is going to love the programs. You're in great hands with our team. But if someone wants to get in touch with you, let's say it's a rec professional or someone that's coming up or a parent, whatnot, where's the best way to reach you? Through the center?
Yep, the best way is to reach me through the center. They can also email me. My email is relatively easy to remember. It's my first initial, A, and then my last name, Akers, at englewood.co.org. They can also go ahead and call me here at the Recreation Center. I'm happy to speak about programs or getting your kids into programs, or like I said, trying to fill out that Venn diagram. So tell me what you want, what your neighborhood want, what the community wants, because otherwise I'm just throwing spaghetti at a wall and we're seeing what sticks.
Love it. All right. Well, I really appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you next time I'm out there. Everybody, thanks for your time and hanging out here at the Youth Sports Mastery. Hopefully, like I always try to do, is make sure that you get a little something that's educational, a little entertaining, a little bit of fun as we go for it. Avery, I appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you. Everybody, thanks for joining, where we get to talk, teach, and play every week. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me on air.
Take care.
Are you ready to lead the next generation of Parks and Rec? Whether you're a student, intern, or rising leader, welcome to the Young Professionals Network by DPRS Media Co. Our mission? To empower early career professionals in parks and recreation through mentorship, visibility, and real-world leadership development. Our vision? A national network of passionate, prepared, and purpose-driven leaders who shape the future of public service. Starting now. Powered by the Daily Parks and Rec Show, YPN gives you access to exclusive interviews, career-building resources, behind-the-scenes content, and live events, all created by and for the next wave of Parks and Rec professionals. Learn from seasoned directors, build your brand, get involved with national conversations that matter. Whether you're in youth sports, facilities, programming, or policy, YPN is your launchpad. Young Professionals Network, your career, your community, your story. At DPRS Media Co., we believe Parks and Recreation isn't just a service, it's the heartbeat of our communities. We exist to honor the people, the vendors, and the leaders shaping the future of Parks and Rec. Our mission is simple: to tell their stories, highlight their careers, and celebrate their essential work. Our vision is bold: to be the trusted hub where leaders, vendors, and communities unite, inspiring innovation, sharing wisdom, and building a stronger, healthier nation. Through over 220 live shows and 6 weekly series, the Leadership Series, Facility Maintenance, Young Professionals Network, Youth Sports Mastery, The Rec Room, and Growing Leaders, plus our industry-leading newsletter, the weekly Parks and Rec Post, we're building a media platform made for the Parks and Rec community. And now, we're inviting strategic partners to co-create this story with us. As a partner, you'll gain 12 hours of annual live exposure with custom shows highlighting your expertise, polished 60-second promos refined for maximum impact, year-round visibility with dozens of replays across our media network, premium features in our newsletter, and amplified social media reach across LinkedIn, X, and Facebook. This is your chance to educate, inspire, and lead while connecting directly with the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. This is DPRS Media Co. Let's build the future of Parks and Rec together.